Welcome back, Rocky fans. Women and gentlemen. Let's start that again. That was weak.
Rocky's not weak. We cannot start weak. Rocky is strong, so we have to have a strong start. Well, welcome back, fans, to episode 3 of Going the Distance with myself, Ryan, your host, and
Ruben Balkan, your co-host.
the co-host, like a co-anchor. Does that mean there's a primary anchor?
I think that's cooperatively anchoring.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I see this as an equal hosting.
Oh, bless your heart.
You remember American Idol, the first season?
Who doesn't?
Well,
Justin and Kelly, from Justin to Kelly.
That's right. Well, Kelly Clarkson won. Spoiler alert. Kelly Clarkson.
If your DVR is still backed up.
Yeah. So the first season of American Idol had 2 hosts.
Oh, that's right.
The fate of Dunkelman. His name was Dunkelman.
Dunkelman?
Dunkelman.
So who's the Dunkelman in this story?
We're on episode 3. We're both here together.
But in time, we'll find out who's
But
the Dunkelman between us.
Maybe. But what's unfortunate is Dunkelman, my understanding was he thought he didn't like sharing the stage with Seacrest. Now, this was before Ryan Seacrest was Seacrest. He was just Ryan Seacrest of the American Idol hosting thing.
Just a young boy with
I think he has some
highlights in his hair.
Highlights in his hair and questions in the closet. And he wasn't the Ryan Seacrest that we know today.
Yeah.
But Dunkelman, because Dunkelman bowed out and said, I can't share the stage.
So actually, I just Googled this right now as
Okay.
we're talking. CNN, this is a new story
Oh,
because
wow.
they're wrapping up.
Of course, to wrap up the final season.
For years, Brian Dunkelman wouldn't talk about American Idol. You remember Dunkelman, right? I barely did.
I do.
He was the guy who famously, or perhaps not so famously, co-hosted Idol with Ryan Seacrest during the first season and then made the decision to leave the show on his own.
Yes, he was not fired. He was not let go. He left on his own.
Who knew that it would go on to become such a TV juggernaut? Certainly not Dunkelman, who struck it out on his own to pursue an acting career.
Yep.
Actually, they put a acting career. Wouldn't it be an acting career?
Yeah.
A-N?
Yeah.
14 years later, American Idol is starting its final season. Dunkelman is still looking for breakthrough success as an actor.
It's not over yet. His life's not
What
over.
a dig, eh? It's a little bit of a dig.
It is a dig.
Like, you don't need to mention that he's still looking for it.
Because we haven't seen what's the Dunkelman movie that's coming out this summer, starring Dunkelman.
Okay, here's a picture of him. Clearly, he doesn't have a personal chef. I was very upset about it for a long, long time. Dunkelman 44, who calls himself a television history footnote on his Twitter bio. You got to make up your mind that either you're going to be that angry guy for the rest of your life, or you got to move on. It's taken me a long time to get there.
Probably 12 years.
Oh.
The CNN did mention they were co-hosts together. So yeah, we're co-hosts.
We're co-hosts.
For now, but let me just say I will not be pursuing an acting career at the tender age of 40. Well, speaking of acting, Rocky.
Oh, hey, this is about Rocky, isn't it?
Rocky, going the distance with Ruben and Ryan, or Ryan and Ruben. And we're going to go the distance today with the continuation story of Rocky Balboa and his life and journey in Rocky Part 1.
Well, this is Act 2B, and so we're moving on to, I believe, Paulie.
We've met the key players. The key players are not Spider Rico and Dipper. Even though
Dipper's the Dunkelman of the Rocky.
Dipper is the Dunkelman. He had a chance to be a contender. You had a chance to be a contender, Dipper.
No, that was Ryan doing it. I don't want credit for that.
No, that was Ryan. On the spot, unasked for, an impersonation of Mickey, and I'm not very good at any kind of impersonations except for Chewbacca. We've met Adrian, we've met Mickey, and now we're going to meet on screen
Paulie. Yeah. And by the way, we've met Cuff and Links.
We've met Cuff and Link
and
Butkus. This is big. So we got Paulie. They're at the bar. Oh, I forget the bar's name. People are going to be like, how could you forget the bar's name?
Yeah, right.
I know, I'm terrible. Rocky, as he's walking into the bar, which I like, he picked that guy off the street who was drunk and out.
Rocky is salt of the earth.
He is salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth.
So Rocky is just that guy. He's just
The
that
Lucky
guy.
Seven Tavern.
The Lucky Seven, of course. Okay, so he's at the Lucky Seven. He asks a fellow pool player, where's Paulie? And he says he's in the bathroom. Rocky goes in there. There's Paulie, back to the camera, looking in where a mirror should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And Paulie's mad because somebody broke the freaking mirror. He said, who broke? He said he was so mad about the mirror. Now, keep in mind, we all know what Paulie looks like. The fact that this individual would spend any kind of time in the mirror to fix himself up. He had a comb in his hand. As you know, he's balding, if not bald.
Do you remember Dad would always have a black comb in his
pocket?
In his back pocket?
Yes. That was the thing, though.
That was the thing.
The people did have the black comb.
People groomed themselves despite their station in life.
And Dad was a great station life.
No, I'm just saying, with Paulie. Paulie was obviously a lower station in life.
Yep. His hair, I don't think you could put a dog brush through his hair, let alone a fine-tooth comb. If you see his hair, when he had this. So I find it funny. So he's in there looking at, and when you watch the movie, I don't think you could actually see any glass. So whatever he's looking into might just literally be a shard left on the wall. Just a little fragment that's blocked by his body. Because he's looking at the wall, but I can't see a mirror anywhere.
Maybe he's just kind of like looking to where it should be.
At the very least, because his back is to the camera, looking at the wall.
Yeah.
He's fixing his hair, and Paul even makes the infamous line, he's so mad about the mirror being broken that he wants to split their head with a razor.
That's pretty violent.
It is an incredibly violent statement about a broken mirror.
By the way, I hear that he's endorsing Trump.
Burt Young.
No.
Oh.
Paulie.
Please. We shouldn't spoil anything, so we'll leave it at that. I don't think Paul is endorsing anybody. Burt Young is still alive, by the way. Burt Young, the actor. I love that line because it's an interesting, out of the place line because it's a very violent line. The imagery of splitting someone's head open with a razor. Like if you were given the task, give me an instrument to split your head open with in a gruesome way. People would go for blunt objects.
Sure. A razor would be...
Because it's small.
It would be small. You would need to have a lot of velocity, a lot of momentum, a lot of...
Or just time.
Inertia.
Yeah, so either it's a one chance deal, but the way I looked at it, to me, it's even more gruesome, is that he's taking time with the small razor to saw through the head. So it's an actual process where an axe or a bat would be a quick motion.
You know, I would venture to say that if he had the opportunity, he wouldn't have fallen through. I think Paulie's character probably does not fall through on a lot of things in life.
He does speak a little harsher than he actually will do.
Yeah,
his bark is worse than his bite.
Yes.
The conversation continues where Rocky's now asking, as we would do, hey, your sister, what's her deal?
Mm-hmm.
And Paulie goes, well, what do you mean? Well, what's your deal? I've been, making my moves on her for some time now, and she's not changing. Her tune doesn't change. She seems like she's interested, but she's not real. The momentum is so slow. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Is there something wrong with my face? And he says well, she's pushing 30 years old. If she doesn't find somebody, she's going to dry up. So right here, this is an interesting element throughout the story. And it's weird to me, because I don't have a sister. I have 3 brothers.
Yes.
Ruben, how many brothers do you have?
Also 3 that I know of.
Okay, so you and I both
have... Though Mom and Dad have assured me there is no others.
There's no others. We have the same parents, if you didn't know. What I find interesting here is Paulie makes mention right here, first mention, my sister and her reproduction capabilities.
Yeah.
We know that they live together. They probably lived together for some time. They have a house together.
Probably their whole lives.
So there's something probably happened to the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Abandonment, death, who knows. We know that they've only had each other for years, probably a couple decades at the very least. It seems like,
I would imagine the whole 30 years of her life.
Yeah, maybe. He's probably 10 years older, and so he's raised her almost like a daughter.
Yeah.
He's worried about her ability to produce children and move on with her life. I love what Rocky says to him. He says to Paulie, I don't see a crowd around you either. The idea being that Paulie is saying, what's wrong with my sister? She's homely, she's quiet, no guys are chasing her. You're a guy that's chasing her. She's giving you the cold shoulder. I don't know what her deal is. What's her problem? And Rocky, already protective of his future wife, saying, "Hey, I don't see a crowd around you neither." I always like that little exchange they have going on there. Rocky leaves the bar after seeing Apollo Creed on the screen, saying that they're gonna have a fight in Philadelphia. He's fighting somebody named Green, I think, and Green will later get injured, which will play into the story later.
A side note: in real life, Burt Young and Talia Shire are 6 years apart.
Oh, so I guess 10
Yeah, so he was 36
in that film.
in that, or at least played it. If
Well, we could look up his age in 19. Well, what's he right
yeah,
now?
for those playing at home, you can do the math and Facebook us the.
Yeah. Well, we know that Stallone is 69 now, and he was 30 then.
Well, he would have been 36.
Oh, there you go. I think they kind of got the casting really right. I think they try to cast people's age in this movie.
Wow, he's 36.
He just looks older. Do you ever
Why?
find?
Why? Everybody that was an adult when I
Right.
was a kid, when I look at those pictures, even though I'm older than that now, they still have this gravitas to them. That this older,
Right.
this. I am not that. I'm still just a little boy.
It's weird, and maybe our listeners know what we're talking about. For example, Stallone is 30 in Rocky. He
Yeah.
is 10 years younger than I am now in the film that I just watched. But he still looks older than me. I feel like he's older than me, even in that film. Now, I know he looks younger than he looks now. I recognize physics that he is a younger looking Stallone.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't seem like if I were to walk if I was to walk to the film and meet Rocky, say, "Hey, dude, how's it going?" He's like, "How you doing?" Like, would he see me as a 40-year-old?
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. He leaves the bar. He has that famous scene with Marie, the little girl Marie. Little Marie gives the big speech about, she's hanging around with the wrong type of crowd.
Yeah, the coconuts.
The coconuts and lemons. And if you hang out with coconuts, you become a coconut. If you hang out with lemons, you become a lemon. And so he's trying again, being Rocky. He's concerned about the neighborhood. He's concerned about what he considers his family, people that he sees every day from the street corner singing people, the guys in the tavern, all these peripheral characters in his life. So he's acting like a little bit of father type to her, saying, you shouldn't smoke, you're too young. He goes, I'm going to have to use a bad word. I'm going to have to use a bad word. I love this. And you're like, what's that bad word? He goes, whore. There, I said whore. I love how that's the best.
It's a weird way to pronounce a word.
Whore.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Right. It's funny, she says, and I only caught this because I had the captions on, but you can hear it. She says, I'm only 12.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
She says that.
Yeah.
But I think what she's trying to tell Rocky is, I'm young and I haven't had that kind of activity in my life. But Rocky's saying it doesn't matter because it looks bad.
Yeah.
So he's making the point that I get it, that you're not sexually active at a young age. If you look and present yourself like it, then it doesn't matter. And you're going to become what you're presenting yourself to be eventually.
Yes, which is pretty wise.
It was wise for old Rock
Yeah.
to say that. And he says, just remember what I told you. And she goes, yeah. Don't. If I act like a whore, I'm going to turn into one. Yeah, something like that, he said. And then he's leaving, and she goes, hey, Rock. He goes, yeah? Then she says, screw you, creepo, and slams the door. And then Rocky says, well, yeah, who am I to give advice, creepo? We see consistently, he just can't seem to connect with the girl that he's chasing, with the life that he chose, with the secondary life as a loan shark collector. He just consistently hits brick walls, and people that he's trying to connect with, he's not connecting.
Yeah.
And so at this point in some people's lives, they may find comfort in the bottle or a drug or who knows what else, but he could somehow, maybe that fighting spirit that he doesn't even know he has is still there.
Well, I think that's something to be said, that when we're going through tough times, not go for a vice that's going to be detrimental. I'm not trying to be Oprah here, but
I would recommend a healthy activity over an unhealthy one myself.
so trivia: Stallone was a smoker,
Yes.
and then he quit while doing the movie.
Because he smoked throughout the movie.
But he was like real smoker. But in his training, for the movie, he had to quit smoking because he was getting out of breath.
That's interesting. He was told to quit by Mickey, I think. So it might have been that weird life and art and
Yeah.
life. Because
Yeah.
in the film, he quits in the film too.
Interesting.
Okay, we know you've seen the movie. We're not going to hit every single detail, so bear with us.
It might sound and feel like it.
You must. Yes. I really hope that those who are fans of the show, Rocky,
Yes.
probably is our audience.
It's probably not the Harry Potter crowd.
No, but
Though there might be an overlap.
there might be an overlap. You are allowed to be a Harry Potter fan and a Rocky fan. They wouldn't cancel each other out.
I've never seen one. I've never read the books.
Oh, I thought you'd never seen the fan. I enjoy the books.
Oh no, I've seen the fans.
Okay.
I've seen the fans of Harry
Of
Potter,
both.
but I've never watched the movies or read the Harry Potter books.
Well, sounds like we
Oh
have.
my gosh,
Sounds like we have a journey.
sounds like a snoozecast. Okay, clarify.
Okay.
I began watching the first one at somebody's house.
Right.
There's some type of, I don't know, broom, something happening. I don't know, some magic.
There's magic.
And I was like, I don't care what happens.
Once the magic hit.
Like, I don't care. You either like something or you don't. I don't have anything against it. I just don't like it.
Well, that's fair.
But
and,
Rocky, these type of movies, those are the ones that speak to me. I prefer, because like an acoustic song over an electronic song. I prefer real.
it's stripped down.
Yeah.
It's the bare bones
It's,
of humanity.
it's unplugged.
It's unplugged.
Yeah.
Rocky was unplugged in Creed and he got killed. Just kidding. All right, so he meets with Goslo, and Goslo says, you know, I hear things. I hear you're taking a girl out, and he gives him $50 for a date.
$50 for a date.
Yeah, so Goslo gave him $50 to take her out for a date, Adrian out for a date.
So that's
He got $50, which in today's was about $200.
that's a nice date.
That's a great date.
Yeah.
What I love is I think Rocky pocketed
Oh, I'm sure he did.
because he took Adrian ice skating. The guy was in the Zamboni work, was closing out the rink, and they bargained. The guy started off with the greatest bargaining scene in film history. The guy said, "I'll give you the ring for $10 for 10 minutes." And Rocky's like, you know, she looks sad and she looks sick over there. He actually said that. He used her mousiness
Yes.
from a distance to say that this individual is basically depressed and she only likes ice skating. It will help her mood.
Oh yeah. Let's do it for the kid. The 30-year-old woman over there.
So he says, how about 7? And he's like, no, 10 for 10 minutes. And Rocky's like, I'll give you 9. Come on. And then he goes, it's Thanksgiving, the other guy says. $10. And Rocky's like, okay, I'll give you $10. Rocky can't break thumbs. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He brings the guys out from the cold into the tavern, took the offer that was originally offered, $10 for 10 minutes. So they're out there, it's that first date. If there is a better first date filmed, please, in your comments below, tell me that date and I will compare it. And I will look at it with unbiased eyes about a better first date. Agree?
Agreed. I can't think of anything.
So we talked about already about the empty rink.
The empty rink.
Polly told Rocky before the date started that she likes ice skating. So Rocky's doing this all on the fly. This is before Google, texting, anything like that. So they walk to the rink to go ice skating. It's closed. It's Thanksgiving. They get $10 for 10 minutes. And he tells the guy, go get the skates. So there's Adrian wearing skates. And she gets out on the ice. And you got Rocky walking/running next to her as she shimmies across the ice. So what I get a kick out of these characters is that we're told from Polly's perspective that she loves ice skating.
Yes.
Okay? But she can't skate.
Yeah. I think it's like you hear that somebody like penguins, and then all of a sudden everybody gives them penguins.
Right.
Mentioned at one time,
One time.
and then it equals this is what they're all about. Tell me if you've heard this before. Our cousin Jen brought her husband to visit our grandparents.
Okay.
So grandma made a special meal. It was a Brussels sprout meal. If I'm telling this correctly, Steve, the husband, said, I don't like Brussels sprouts. He wasn't eating the Brussels sprouts. He just said
very,
it.
very honest. But I don't like them either.
But if I'm telling the story right, even if I'm telling it wrong,
Right.
it matches Steve's personality
Right.
of saying no. Grandma or grandpa said, I think it was grandma, I really don't like, Brussels sprouts either. And then grandpa goes, well, since we're all saying this, either do I. So what happened was, 50 years ago, for their first Christmas dinner, Grandma thought she's going to make a real nice meal. A recipe that she hadn't tried. Grandpa did not like it. She says, this is great. Delicious. You know what? We should probably only save this for special occasions. Grandpa was like, phew, I dodged a bullet. I don't have to eat this all the time. So Grandma thought the same thing. Well, I'll just save this then for special occasions. So they had it usually for Christmas or special occasions for 50 years, where neither of them said to each other, I actually don't like that dish.
Because they wanted the other person to be happy with the dish.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So sometimes it's better to be a stew.
just to get it out. Just to get it out.
Well, Adrian, to be fair, she may have enjoyed ice skating recently.
Yes.
There was no indication that she's enjoyed this activity
Yes.
for 28 years. It's just that she now likes ice skating.
Sure.
Polly could have said, she has recently taken up ice skating. It's funny, if that dialogue was thrown in, and then you see her shimmy on the ice, would have made sense that she likes it, but she's poor at it. But we're led to believe as a viewer, again, that because she enjoys this, she should be good at it, but it fits the character.
Yeah, but you also don't have to be good at something to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Enter the podcast.
That's right. For our 10 listeners out there, keep that in mind. Maybe 10.
You're very optimistic.
They're shimmying along the ice, and this is great. The back and forth here is one of the best dialogues in the movies. You've got them asking about each other's lives, which is great. That's a first date.
Uh-huh.
Adrian is really interested in knowing, hey, Rocky, why do you fight? I don't get it. She legitimately doesn't understand. I mean, it's a fair question. You're 30 years old,
Yeah.
and you get your face punched in for money.
I actually don't get it.
There you go.
Like, I think I do.
Well, his response was that he doesn't have much of a brain. The terrible irony here is this reflects a childhood issue. It's because we see through the movies that Rocky himself is not a dumb person. Though he might not be educationally proficient in the education system. He's bright, he's kind, he's empathetic. He has skills that if they were honed by a proper caregiver, he could have been something else.
I'm sure some people have publicly passed off Stallone as dumb.
And that's now that we're bringing it up, we should bring it up. Because he played that character so well, people thought that Stallone was inarticulate,
Yes.
not bright.
Yes.
From the Rambo characters, the Rocky. Now, he played those roles and played them well. When you see him in interviews, and I challenge you guys who think that Stallone is dumb, go look at an interview.
Clearly a bright guy.
And he wrote the film.
Yes.
Like, he wrote these characters. So, he wrote...
Tom Hanks didn't even write Forrest Gump. You know what I mean?
Tom Hanks did not write Forrest Gump.
I don't think he's written anything.
I don't think he's written... yes, he has.
What has he written?
The movie that's one of his weakest movies, I think.
Turner and Hooch?
No. That Thing You Do.
Oh, That Thing You Do.
I think he directed it.
That's like where you just have like a bunch of star power. You put something there.
Right. That Thing You Do was his passion project.
And
So put it this way. So you got Stallone, his passion project is Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks' passion project,
That Thing You Do.
That Thing You Do. Now so is there great actors who get picked for the right roles, or are there great artists who make the right roles for themselves?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? How many franchises has Tom Hanks created?
None. So he did write That Thing You Do.
Okay.
He's a writer in some other stuff like
writing credit, co-writing. Or...
Tell played for a little bit of Band of Brothers, From Earth to the Moon. Oh, he also wrote Larry Crown.
He wrote Larry Crown?
It says written by Tom Hanks.
Okay, so Larry Crown, how well did that one do?
It has a solid 6, which is 2 points under Rocky.
And this is 30 years in the industry.
And he also wrote it with Nia Vardalos. She's the one that did My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Right, so he had an experienced writer with him.
Yes, an experienced writer, and they together pulled in a 6 with star power.
Again, we're not criticizing Tom Hanks as a man or as an actor.
No, this
shows you
as a writer.
As a writer.
As a writer.
So so again, Stallone creates the characters that are punchy, but he himself.
Was that a pun intended?
No, well, it works for a boxer, and he brings it up in Rocky 2 when he's talking to the commercial director.
Okay.
He says, "I'm not punchy. I just talk this way."
That's right.
And that's so he already. This is when he starts to get his own confidence as a character. That just because I fight, just because I can't read, I'm actually not stupid. So he started to fight that own inner.
It's tough when people talk to you like you're stupid.
Is it Ruben?
I walked into that one.
Yes.
I was just about to say debt.
But people wouldn't
But
understand.
people would not understand what debt means.
We'll get there one day.
All
We'll
right.
get there one day.
I do want to mention regarding the date, though.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
End of November,
Yep.
there's a rose bush in bloom
Okay.
in front of Polly and
Adrian's home.
Adrian's home, yeah.
Well, there was there? Philadelphia is not known for its warm winters,
No.
so I guess we'd have to know when those filmed.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, it could have been a warm. It could have been a warm fall.
You know, global warming has been taking place for a long time. You know,
I think Al Gore.
Climate change. I think it's
Al
called now.
Gore. I think before he invented the internet, was the first spokesperson for climate change
Well, he was inventing it.
at that time.
Yes, yeah. He didn't know what he was inventing. He was just throwing litter away and contributing,
That's awesome.
idling his car.
Rocky answers the question, why do I fight? First he said, I don't have brains, so I have to use my body. So I think it was his father that said that to him. Father or mother, darn it, doesn't matter. One of his parents.
Mm-hmm.
He also said, because I can't sing or dance.
Yes.
That's a classic. Have you ever liked a movie so much that you've quoted that movie in everyday conversation?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I do that with the I can't sing or dance. I've done it for years. And I very rarely, and I guess in a sad way, I don't get, hey, you got that from Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people say, why are you in the Navy? That's my go-to answer. So when people say, why did you join the military? I always say, because I can't sing or dance. And they get a chuckle out of it, but no one ever says, hey.
It's a timeless line.
It is a timeless line, because it just basically means, I admit it, I wasn't born with whatever that is to be an artist.
Mm-hmm.
People can sing.
Well,
There's
that's
people that can really sing.
If everybody was born an artist, then very few people could, be in the Navy. Then everybody would be amazed that somebody's in the Navy.
Well, the idea that everyone, barring, deficiency, everyone can see.
Yes.
So I'm not going to, like everyone has visual sight. I'm not going to a concert to watch somebody who can visually sight things.
Yes.
Look at that tree.
Yes.
It's green. So because we can all spot trees, we're not excited by that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that can sing and sing well, it's like, wow, that's something that you have that the other 15,000 people in this crowd don't have. So that's an interesting idea. So I can't sing or dance, I admit it, so I had to pick a job to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And he says the job that I picked involved my body because I could take punches and I can give punches.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever been in a boxing? Like gloves, ring?
I have slipped on the gloves before. I forget where, but it was in my youth. Somebody had a pair of boxing gloves in their room or garage. And being a Rocky fan, I put them on and felt what it felt like to hit something with the gloves on.
Yeah.
I think they had a big bag. And I've been kind of like tapped back with the glove on the other person's hand to see what it feels like. So, but I've never gone with the headpiece on, mouth guard in. No, I've never done that.
Okay. I have when I was a teen with Matt Hall.
Ah.
Yeah. You're supposed to put like Vaseline on your...
They do that. They do it in the film. They put Vaseline on their eyes.
And I found out why. So I have a scar on the bottom of my chin. Can't really see.
Yeah, tear the skin.
Yeah. So yeah, tore the skin. So Matt punched me in the face, and it just split my skin. Granted, this is like 20 years ago. Excuse me. But for him, he's like, I got a really good punch in, and actually the punch didn't hurt.
No.
It was
traction.
It's just traction. Yeah. It just broke the skin like that.
Well, it sounds like you guys have to have a rematch with Vaseline.
Who's to say we haven't?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Adrian says, well, the opposite was said about me. And the opposite was her mother or whatever said, well, you don't have much of a body. Hey, feminists, everyone take a deep breath.
I am.
Okay, this is a film in the 70s, but the idea was that she didn't have the body of a fighter, or the body of a womanly charm. Basically, she could marry into success.
Yeah.
She would have to use her brain. Now, we could say that we've come a long way in 40 years.
Just ask the Beverly Hills housewives of whatever.
Yeah, Orange County.
Orange County, yeah.
I would like to think, believe it or not, I'm a feminist at heart. I believe, obviously, that everyone should get paid whatever job they're doing. If you are a female doctor and you are a male doctor, you have the same credentials. Well, it actually is mind-boggling to me that you're not.
It is.
And that's one good thing I like about the military.
Just straight.
It's straight pay, absolutely. Could you imagine if the people that I was working with were getting paid less because of their gender? That would not fly. So the military, at the very least, say what you want about them. Those are, they do pay.
What I want,
No, not you, but anyone that's listening.
Okay.
That the military gets that right. We get a lot of things wrong, like any other organization.
But equality.
But equal pay. There is no gender. In fact, even the physical fitness test is gender free.
Wow.
It's just a standard that all age and gender have to pass. Canada gets that right at the very least. Whatever rank you are and whatever trade you are, that's your pay, whether you're male, female. My mind is still blown. Political season right now,
Yes.
and I heard Bernie Sanders talking on a talk show, and that topic came up. I looked at my watch. It's 2016.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Again, I'm a feminist at heart in the sense that I'm a humanist, meaning we're still talking about. It's almost like saying they're black, so they should get less pay. I can't believe we're still doing that with the female male thing. It does blow my. Maybe I'm naive. Can somebody please explain to me why that's
Bigots.
okay? So after their ice skating date, they go to the apartment, and it's again this whole I give the challenge. Somebody show me a better first date sequence in a film, and I will hang up my gloves. Because as a podcaster,
Wow.
3 episodes in, I'm willing to put this podcast on the line, Ruben.
Wow. That's quite the.
Because the date continues, not just from the ice rink, because now they go to the apartment. And Rocky goes up the steps to his apartment and says, hey, come on in. And she's like, no, I can't, it's late. But you can see the internal struggle that she's having. Like, she's thinking, I'm having a good time. But she's, nervous, obviously. Rocky's a imposing fella. He's been around the block. She can sense that.
Oh, and he's got his arms up on there.
Yeah, so they go inside. So she does agree to come in. She goes in. Rocky does his little shuffle around. He goes, can I get you something to eat?
Yeah.
I got donuts. I got cupcakes. He offers her 3 different. I think it was 3 different desserts that he offers her, and then which is actually pretty good.
Well,
yeah. Cupcakes. I was like, man, I could go for a cupcake, Rock.
Yeah.
Then he goes over to his couch, which is covered in garbage and litter, and he moves a couple of the newspapers over, and he leans back and says, why don't you come over here and sit down? So, it's not a bad couch. I don't know. I love how he's trying to sell the couch. He actually mentions that the couch isn't a bad couch.
Yes.
And she's nervous. She goes, I should go. I gotta let Paulie know that I'm.
Yes.
That I'm,
okay or whatever. Yeah.
He's like, well, and she goes, do you have a phone? And he goes, no, I got rid of the phone. Interruptions.
Yes.
Which again.
Always the bright side of life.
Yeah. So he got rid of his locker because
too much hassle.
Too much hassle. He lost. He got rid of the phone because of interruptions. Now we know why he got rid of the phone.
Yes.
He couldn't pay the bills.
Yes.
But I love how for him it's like it interrupted his busy life of what.
Of course.
So he opens up the window. Great, another famous scene. Opens up the window, calls out for Paul. Hey, yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. Slams the window. So that's taken care of.
When I was a little kid, I thought that really Paulie heard that.
Well, that's the thing is, what was the distance from Rocky's house to Adrian's house?
I don't know, but when I was a kid, I really thought that.
Because was Rocky just being silly, or was he being pragmatic?
I think he was being silly.
You think so?
I do. I think he's just calling out into the.
Well, she didn't laugh.
No.
But that's the great character of Rocky is it's just enough silliness that is he playing dumb a little bit, playing up to it a little bit, even as the character, or is he? Sometimes he actually is just a little bit slow in the get go. So it's that fine line that the character himself plays himself.
Yeah, he walks that tightrope quite nicely. So a little trivia, or not maybe gaff, I should say. When Adrian enters Rocky's apartment, he's wearing fingerless gloves. When he removes his hat and his sweater, in the very next shot, when he's showing Adrian the turtles,
right,
he has no gloves on.
So he just took them off very quickly.
Yeah, that's one way to. Yeah.
When those gaffes happen in movies and TV shows where you see the clothing item there, not there, the next scene, In theory, I think there isn't that 2 to 3 second. You could literally go like whipped off the gloves. Like,
Well, he's got quick hands.
he has quick hands.
He's got quick hands.
He could have easily taken off the gloves.
Yeah.
He was asked why he fights. This is actually important. So he made the joke he can't sing or dance, but he actually brought up the real reason. He wanted to prove, that's the word bum. The word bum, B-U-M, was, in this movie, is thrown around as an insult.
Yes.
It's almost like you're degenerate, you're useless. And it's taken in such, like if I were to call you, hey, you bum, you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
But I guess in this time period or location or both,
40 years ago.
being called a bum is a real insult. So Rocky actually says, Adrian, he wanted to prove to himself or to the world that he's not a bum. And he thought the fighting would be that answer.
Yeah, he's got a skill. Exploit it.
This is also during this time that he explains what southpaw is. That he's left-handed fighter. So he explains this because even though it's a legitimate issue, and he's basically acknowledging that at 30 he has not succeeded in proving that he's not a bum. It's obvious.
Yes.
So he's trying to tell her, I became a boxer to prove that I'm not a bum, but ... It's because I'm a southpaw. A lot of people don't like to fight me. So I haven't found success because people avoid me and I can't climb the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a legitimate reason but at the same time, he just, whether you call it luck, right place, right time, but also the fact that he fights in a different style than boxers want to fight with. So all those things added up. They're in the apartment. Rocky senses that Adrian wants to leave. She says, I shouldn't be here. I've never been alone in a man's apartment. He makes that line.
Yes.
They're all the same. I love that line, that they're all the same. So, and she goes, I'm nervous or I'm comfortable. And this shows his vulnerable. He says, well, I am too. And I like that. He says, well, I'm nervous too. I might I have a little bit of swagger. It's probably not his first time to be intimate with a woman, but he's nervous. He wants this to work. He's pursued her for so long. He's so close to just having an intimate moment with her that he's like the fish that's about to get away. He sensed that because she goes for the door and there's that famous, again, I say that word famous. Maybe it's just famous to me.
No. Before you were saying infamous.
No, but I'm just keep saying famous.
Well, famous. All right. Well, let's stick with famous
Okay.
because it's a very popular movie.
It is a popular movie. It's seen by a few million people, as we discussed before. 55 million people saw it in the theater. He blocks the doorway. Now, again, keep in mind, 40 years, because, we hear about,
The Bill Cosbys.
The Bill Cosbys of
The
the world.
Jian Gameshis.
Yeah. It's a weirdly uncomfortable scene for just a moment, because if you don't know the character enough or know the movie enough, especially if you see it today's eyes, films are written different now than they were in the 70s.
Understandably so.
He puts his arms out and literally puts his hand on the door from opening and blocks her escape to his left.
Yes.
So she's caged in.
Maybe this would be infamous then.
And a little bit at that moment. It turns into a tender moment, but there's that initial scene that through 2016 eyes.
I feel like your feminism is wearing off a little bit.
It is wearing off a little bit. So he traps her.
Yes.
But not in a threatening way.
No.
In a plead. It is a physical, I think, obviously, if she ducked under his arms.
I think the character had been established strong enough by this point that that
he's gentle.
He's a gentle, good guy.
Brings the guy into the tavern, won't break thumbs.
Yes.
He says, take off your hat and take off your glasses. I love that because she's been hiding under the hat and under the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she checked herself in the mirror before their first date, she actually did a quick check to see how she looked, and the glasses were askew.
Mm-hmm.
So she is aware enough that she doesn't want to be ugly, takes off the glasses and the hat, and he says, you have beautiful eyes, you have pretty hair, you're a beautiful woman. He says, I always knew you were pretty. And she says, don't tease me. So we sense, obviously, she's been not appreciated by people. And he says, I'm not teasing you. I will say this for the third and final time. If somebody can find me a more romantic first date than this meeting, he says, I'm going to kiss you. And you don't have to kiss me back, but I'm going to kiss you. And Ruben, I will tell you right now, I have done that line.
Oh, really?
I have done that line.
Wow.
No word of a lie crossed my heart. Now, I can't remember the female.
Oh, it was a female.
It was a female.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. It doesn't work as well.
Well, you're the Navy.
I am the Navy.
So I wasn't.
Female listeners, both Ruben and I are happily married. So please.
Not to each other, though.
Not to... When I was a teenager, I've used this line on a girl.
Wow, as a teenager.
as a teenager.
Do you remember her name?
I honestly don't. So you
Was it Bad Breath?
No. We might have to edit that out.
Really? Really?
Yeah. So
Oh, I'll take out her name.
thank you.
We'll call her. Was it Bad Breath
Individual?
Stacy?
Stacy.
Bad Breath Stacy. That's hilarious because
Stacy?
we were just talking previously to this episode to Ryan's wife Becky about Ryan's go-to
Fictitious female
is Stacy.
is Stacy.
And mine's Tina.
Yours is, you know what you're saying? Like, even if you were a Stacy or a Tina in my life, this thing would still be happening. The idea being that whatever event is happening is not dependent on the person you married.
Yes.
Yeah, so my go-to name is Stacy.
So Bad Breath Stacy.
Bad Breath Stacy.
It wasn't her?
It was not her. No, it was like senior high school type years.
Okay.
And I was doing it not to be funny. That was my line.
Well, no, I believe you. Yeah.
And so I said, I'm going to kiss you.
Did she kiss you back?
Yes.
Do you remember in Seinfeld where Jerry was breaking up with a girl,
Right.
and then she writes him a letter
Right.
that's just very romantic?
Right.
George and Jerry are watching TV.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
The very lines from the romantic letter pleading for Jerry to come back is in this movie.
Right.
By this point, Jerry had already set up a date to get back together.
Right.
At some point, this girl probably has seen the movie since then.
Maybe. She didn't see it with me.
But she's probably going to say,
Oh. Yeah, well, it worked, and it did work. But here's the thing. Maybe I didn't need the line, but I used it. So they kiss. They have a great kiss, and they collapse to the floor. And let's just say that scenes thereafter with the Adrian character, she's full of life.
uh-huh.
She's confident.
Oh, good.
She's
That's some kiss.
She doesn't wear the glasses anymore.
Whoa. That's...
her eyesight has healed.
I gotta tell my wife, because I wear glasses.
Yeah, well, you need the rock.
So Stallone was sly.
He was sly.
He was sly.
Yes.
We're running out of cassette tape
We are running out of cassette tape again.
again. We'll just end. So feel free to turn off, but I'm gonna keep talking. Okay?
So I'd be turned off?
No.
No,
Not
they've
turning
turned off.
They might have.
They might not.
Some people probably have already turned off.
They've-
Let's face it. But there's a little
Do
Easter
you
egg
think
here.
someone's gone to the third episode? Has somebody? Have they gone to the third? They've made it for the first two, and they're like,
Not everybody's gonna go the distance with us.
"That's the challenge. Can you go the distance with us?"
The episode's officially over.
Okay.
I have some words for you.
Okay.
Talked about. Reputable, peerless, of note, noteworthy, noble, much publicized, mighty, lionized.
Lionized.
Wow, lionized. That's a good
Is that
word.
for famous? You mean?
Yes.
Oh, one of the more lionized.
Yes.
I'm gonna use
Recognized, remarkable, renowned,
Oh, I like remarkable. That's a good one.
splendid,
Yeah, that's one.
well known, prominent, preeminent, powerful, outstanding, notorious. Notorious. though
Notorious would have to be bad.
Yeah. Noted.
Like part 4 has a notorious scene.
Yes. Noted, memorable, leading, influential, important, illustrious, honored, great, grand, glorious, excellent,
Boy.
eminent, distinguished, brilliant, acclaimed.
Acclaimed. Boy, I like lionized. I think it's the one I pulled out of this one.
Hey, you increased your word power.
I like it.
The
Well,
more you know.
Maybe one day this podcast will be lionized.
Maybe not.
Or it could be notoriously go down in flames.
Perhaps.
iTunes
Perhaps.
will say thanks for the money, but really you're taking up space for. Yeah, you guys are the dipper.
Hey, the Dipper.
You're the dipper of podcasts.
Hey, what happened to our iTunes
better-
things? You're on
a-
Skid Row now.
Yeah, our stuff's gonna be put on Skid Row.
Yeah. You're on MySpace now.
Do they have space on MySpace?
I think MySpace is pretty spacious.
I
I think there's
remember
lots of room
when
there.
MySpace was a space. I became a member of MySpace, and I got my first friend request. It was Tom.
Tom, yes.
I thought that was real. Like, I mean, I know but it's basically like Zuckerberg being your friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Tom's sitting there wearing the white shirt, and he's kind of like
Yeah.
laughing at some joke or something. But it's like a candid shot of Tom.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we just have to catch Tom in this moment.
Just you kind of look behind a little bit. Like, hey guys.
Hey, why doesn't Zuckerberg become our friend on Facebook?
You can follow him.
Yeah,
I follow him.
you do.
Oh yeah. like why I follow. I hate using that term because
I know what you mean, but you
the term is follow. I have his stuff comes in my newsfeed.
Sure. Well, we hope you follow our.
Oh, good segue.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up because we are running out of tape.
Yes.
I can hear it starting to click,
The
and
clicking sound.
winding down.
Follow us at MySpace, and we'll
We should make a MySpace page.
and Tom will be our first.
Oh,
All right, guys.
Bless Tom's heart.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Ding ding.